Here we go.
Those of you probably heard Babylon Bee got suspended from Twitter because they published a biological fact. And as we all know in this day and age, you publish biological facts, you're going to hear 3 words and 3 words only.
How dare you?
And there you go.
There you go.
Twitter just suspended Babylon Bee for calling Rachel Levine a man, and the Bee is refusing to delete the tweet because, it's true.
It's true.
Because apparently Richard Levine was named Woman of the Year in USA Today. Stunning and brave.
God damn.
Ugh. And this person is supposed to be in charge of something to do with health, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing healthy in that. I'm just saying.
Jail.
He has like 2 kids.
Yeah.
Now he's a woman. Man, this guy's jacking his whole family up doing this shit. Jesus Christ.
I'm all for, it doesn't affect me one way or another. So do your deal, what have you. I mean, you want to dress up like a woman, what have you. It doesn't hurt me one way or the other. When you have a family and you drag them through the mud, and then you insist on trying to drag the rest of the country through the mud as well, trying to police their language, police their thoughts even, now I have a problem because you've made it personal.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for you in the long run.
No,
I'm just
not
saying.
so much.
Let's just say if I was to see bad things happen to that man, I really wouldn't care.
Yeah. It is what it is. They say Babylon Bee cannot get their Twitter back unless they delete the tweet. And then this is the CEO holding his ground. We're not deleting anything. Truth is not hate speech. If the cost of telling the truth is the loss of our Twitter account, so be it.
How many times have I said this? The truth is not an insult, and reality is not an attack.
And how many times have we said this? If you apologize to the woke mafia, are they going to stop?
Nope.
No.
They want more and more and more.
They're not going to stop.
The best thing you could do is just draw that line in the sand, stand there with the 2 middle fingers.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Not
F 'em
moving.
in the A. And what really cracks me up about that situation is that by them demanding that Babylon Bee delete the tweet when they could easily do it themselves, they're trying to force them to bend the knee.
That's right.
That's really what it's all about. It's a show of power.
Yep.
Fuck them. Twitter's
you
on its way out.
apologize or else.
Twitter's on its way out. So is Facebook.
Yeah.
The Meta stockholders right now are pissed. I think it's lost, $18 billion in value in the last 6 months alone?
I have to look at the stocks. I can't tell you. All I know is we were in for a huge, huge stock market correction.
Yes.
And it's not going to be good. And the woke companies out there, I hope, suffer the most.
They should, and I think they will.
I hope they should.
They are suffering thus far. Yeah. What I think is so hilarious about this is that for men, it's basically a no-lose scenario.
No.
I mean, look at the facts, and here they are. William Thomas was ranked 462nd in men's swimming. That's not even mediocre. That's bottom of the pack.
Well, it all depends on how many people were there. We don't know.
Starts competing as a woman. Number one. Setting records.
Same thing happened with the 2 chicks that play tennis that everyone thinks are the world's best.
Yeah. Oh, the Williams sisters.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what is it? The guy ranked at 560 kicked the shit out of him?
No, they said that they could beat any man who was ranked lower than 200. So they knew. And then a guy came in, he was like ranked 213 or something like that, smoked them both back to back, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey the entire time.
I would love to see that. That would be awesome.
It is what it is.
I love that shit.
If there's anything that this has proven, it's that gender feminism is over. It is absolutely over. Yeah, because they're the ones who started pushing the whole men and women are physically, mentally equal thing.
Absolutely correct. And you know what? I hope that the women who are not feminists turn on these cunts and ruin their fucking lives because they have put the policies in place that allow these trans athletes to take away your daughter's scholarships.
Yep.
So you need to focus your anger where it belongs.
Yes.
And it belongs focused on those fucking cunts.
Yeah. And the backlash has begun. NCAA swimmer wants a rule change after missing out on files to Leah Thomas. Rika Georgie Leveled the criticism in a post to her private Instagram account after missing the cut on Thursday to compete in the finals of the 500 free at the NCAA championships. Bottom line, she's not, and same goes for us. We're not anti-trans. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Just don't force me to.
Yeah, we are pro-biology.
Correct.
Pro-science. And science proves men have larger hearts,
Yeah.
more bone density, larger lung capacity, more musculature. Testosterone is a better performance-enhancing drug by an order of magnitude than steroids could ever be. Fact, not opinion.
Wow. Okay. All right, let's just be realistic here. Testosterone will supercharge your body if it's not used to getting it on a regular basis. But that boost you get, like if you're born a woman and you're like 18, 19, and you decide to be a man and you start taking testosterone, you are not magically going to get all the benefits of that testosterone that a man would get when he starts off with it at day one.
No, and even somebody who started it before puberty and continues to take the treatments through adulthood is never going to have the testosterone levels of a biological male.
Or the benefits of that
yeah.
testosterone on their biology, because that's just the way it is.
I mean, you might develop a beard that looks like you're growing like spotty, poorly waxed hair on your face, but that's really about as good as you can hope for.
But, testosterone is the go-to drug for performance enhancement, because you can take it, you can take a lot of it for a reasonably long amount of time, then dial it back down and go to your competition. They check you, your test levels are normal.
Yep.
Got it. But if, you could take all kinds of other roids that some of them will be in your system for up to a year. And some of them do outperform testosterone, but they have horrible, horrible side effects.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. What does she say here? One spot was taken away from the girl who got 9th in the 500 free and didn't make it back to the A final, preventing her from being an All-American. Every event that transgender athletes competed in was one spot taken away from biological females throughout the meet. She's not wrong. Guess what happened to her? After issuing this statement,
She got crucified.
banned on Twitter.
Yeah. Now, first of all, we quit using Twitter 3 years ago. I deleted our account when we got a warning for some
Bullshit.
some bullshit. Like, you know what? F off. I don't need you. I don't have any following anyway. We're done.
Yep.
So
It's, yeah. If you have a Twitter, get rid of it. Pure and simple. Go on Getter, Gab, Minds.
Now, Gab, I have a problem with. We got banned on Gab, and we were never told why.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the fact that we're red pill MGTOW individuals.
I honestly.
And the guy who runs Gab is like an uber religious kind of person. All right.
How dare you tell
personally,
people not to get married in a system rigged to kill them?
I would love to punch his face in. I really would.
Okay, so I take it back. Getter or Minds.
Okay.
I mean, there's lots of options out there.
Now, don't get me wrong. We might use Gab again in the future, especially with the Gab TV thing and the live streaming. We'll see what happens. But I'm very upset with them.
Yeah, because no reason was ever given. And when we tried to write to them to get one, radio silence.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and if you try to log in with the original email, you can't log in from that computer. You have to go in and scrub all of the cookies and all the other shit, which is insane.
And one thing that I want to bring up, my brother actually mentioned this earlier, and I'm surprised that it hadn't dawned on me until he mentioned it. We know that because of what happened in Loudoun County, 2 people raped by a high school student, manual transmission individual, and the school board actively covered it up. Now, there's been some question as to why there hasn't been more mass outrage, like more of an organized resistance to shit like this in the NCAA. How much do you want to bet These women are being pulled aside by their coaches and possibly staffers and administrators at the university and being told flat out, if you stand against this, if you come out and you put our university in the limelight trying to stand up for what's right, for biology, for science, we're going to take your fucking scholarships away. How much you want to bet that conversation has been happening in virtually every leftoid university in this country?
I would say probably correct. Now, here's another thing. If these girls want this to stop, quite literally, they show up, they find out they're swimming against some trans guy or trans woman, whatever you want to call it. They don't say anything. They line up on the starting blocks, and the only one that jumps in when they fire the starting gun is the trans dude who swims by himself, and all the other women don't participate.
Yep.
This would come to a halt ASAP.
Yeah, they'll take a breather and then go to the bathroom together because that's what chicks do.
Correct.
Yeah, they go and talk shit.
Either they go in flocks, gaggles, or herds, depending on how old they are.
True story. Oh, and by the way, Leah Thomas apparently has some friends in high places. This photo was just sent to me before the stream.
And here we go.
It's kind of disturbing.
Uh-huh.
Ties into what we're talking about later. Oh, no, anything but that. No. Hunter.
Oh, my God.
Hunter, it's the crying game. I know. Go smoke some cheese and just forget this ever happened. Just step away. Step away from the dick. Put the dick down.
Is funny. Wow. Wow. Who knew?
Who knew? But
That's a good one.
that's a real nice one.
That's a good one.
She gets like 10 mile an hour in the front, 15 in the back.
No. That's a 15-mile-an-hour front.
15 miles all around, you think?
Yeah, I would give it 15 front, 10 mile back.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Now, there are some feminists out there who have finally started speaking up against all of this stuff. Now, I mentioned earlier the gender feminism. That's basically what brought this about. Christina Hoff Sommers in the book, Who's Still Feminism? She was the one who kind of broke it down into its various subsects. Gender feminism, she writes, is an alternative version of feminism and is the dominant feminist voice in academia. This was back in 1994. So we're definitely seeing that in fruition by this point. And let's not forget, when these ladies like to whine and moan about this stuff, even though they're right, they struck first.
Yes, they did.
Boy Scouts will accept girls in a bid to shape the next generation of leaders. Now, this particular article came out in 2017, but there were plans of this going around in the media as early as 2015.
I'm gonna listen. I was a Boy Scout for 2 years, 8th to 9th grade, and I did so mainly. I had no father at home. I wanted to go shoot guns, go fishing, and go camping. It's the only opportunity I could get. And they were pushing for this back then. This is like in the mid-'80s.
Yeah, because men and women are physically and mentally equal. Yeah, we're seeing the fruition of that thought pattern as we speak.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, when the women have pushed their point, they have quite literally destroyed Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
They have destroyed it.
They filed for bankruptcy after years of, I guess there's been some child rapé problems in there.
Now listen, the Boy Scouts did not want to have gays and trans individuals being troop leaders.
Wasn't it initially a religious organization?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was. Well, every time I went to the Boy Scout meetings, we did this Pledge of Allegiance. Every single time.
Yeah.
And
then, now they don't even do it in school.
And they don't do it in school. And I think Boy Scouts is pretty much done now. I think they're bankrupt, they're gone, and you can thank women for that.
Yeah, and Girl Scouts, all they have are cookies, and they donate to BLM, so don't buy the f***ing cookies, gentlemen. You can go to the dollar store and get stuff that tastes just like Thin Mints, and it's only $1 instead of this hyperinflated BS.
Those little f***ing Boy Scout or Girl Scout women who sell those goddamn crack f***ing cookies. God damn you.
They're so good.
They're so f***ing good.
Damn it.
God damn you.
It's like you have to shut your brain off like, I don't like where this money is going. But damn it, those f***ing Thin Mints, bro.
They're f***ing good.
Oh, they're so good.
I remember walking in the grocery store. Yeah, do you like the 5 to 10 minutes? Oh, you little bitch. How many boxes you have? Give me 6. Fucking hate you.
Oh man, that's one thing that my sister actually turned me on to. She walked into my house one day and she hands me this stack of cookies from the dollar store. She's like, "Try these." I'm like, "These taste like Thin Mints. They're only $1." I'm like, "Shut your whore mouth and give me those cookies." I like sauntered off with them.
Yeah.
You find me, in the corner listening to jungle drums, eating cookies.
I mean, it's like $6 a box now for the Girl Scout.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it might not be $1 at the dollar store anymore. It might be $1.25. Bidenomics, yay! But just saying.
Yeah, it's another thing. I'm probably going to. I'm probably going to be reluctant to support Girl Scouts and stop buying their cookies in the future.
Amen to that. Well, I'm going to just boil this down if I can. Because this is something that I've noticed. It happens over and over again throughout history. We've seen it numerous times just in the last decade. Every movement, I'm talking specifically about feminism in this instance, but every movement eventually goes corrupt. Why?
Because they actually solve the problem in which they were formed for.
Well, power corrupts, absolutely.
Well, no, I mean, like, for instance, you form a group to stop impossibility widgets.
Yeah.
And they get all kinds of money. They're organized.
Exactly.
Everyone's like, stop the impossibility widgets. And then they do.
And then what happens to the money?
Yeah.
We solved the problem. But I've become accustomed to a particular lifestyle, and
Correct.
you need to keep that lifestyle going. So I'm going to find a new problem.
That's right.
And another problem, and another problem. And then sooner or later, you know what? Maybe we'll run out of problems. I'll just invent a bunch.
Yeah, that happens.
It does.
Look, the left invents they invent the problem and then they bitch about it. It's like clockwork with them.
But the problem is, once you reach that phase in the tilt-a-whirl where you start having to invent problems, then it becomes overwhelmingly obvious to everyone with a pulse that you're just grifting. And then what happens? Leah Thomas happens. Mm-hmm. Rachel Levine happens. And, I mean, if you don't remember this woman...
Oh, my God.
Rachel Dolezal happens. Pretended to be black for I don't know how long before she was finally found out. Sean King, same thing. That dude is so white his placenta was the bag that Wonder Bread comes in. He's not black.
But the way the left works, you can feel you are a certain thing and they'll have to accept it.
Yep.
You can identify as a black man. No. Well, identify. No. Well, you have to accept me as one because that's how I identify.
Yeah.
Look, it's a mental instability.
Yep.
And you should not be forced to reinforce someone else's mental illness.
No.
Fuck that. That is absolutely insane.
Or, worst case scenario, you allow them to compete in the UFC, Fallon Fox, and you wind up with women getting their skulls cracked open. Yeah, literally.
Listen, like, you have to generate a moderate to a great amount of force to fracture a skull. Like, we need to be, like, if you're going to fracture the skull of a man, you're going to have to hit him with a hammer, a bat, or some other heavy object that you can get a clean hit.
Or if you're Bob Saget, apparently you can accidentally bump your head and just fall asleep.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. It's not easy. Okay, like, it can be done by people who have, trained in the martial arts or competed professionally or at high levels in professional arenas in combat sports. They can muster the PSI, pounds per square inch per strike, to actually do that.
Yeah.
All right. Now you're taking somebody that used to be a man, and they're like, "Oh, he's not taking any testosterone, and we're blocking the production of his testosterone, and that testosterone is so low, it's on par with a woman. So therefore, the left thinks it's completely, totally logical to let this individual who used to be a man, who technically is a man, that has woman levels worth of testosterone, and that'll be a fair fight if he was to go up against another woman. Not so much, because when that happened, the woman got her skull fractured and retired from the sport and is going to have to suffer medical repercussions from that for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Gotta love it. But according to leftoids, like I love this quote here. Gender's not binary. It's not even biological. Sure. But what strikes me as odd is that race is not biological either. All right.
All right, hang on. Well,
whatever, you sickle sellout.
All right. All right. Let's say this individual here that you're showing on the screen with the fake permed hair or whatever gets into an aircraft. There's a couple of engine failures, and that plane smashes into the ocean and bursts into flames. And all they find is one piece of a finger. And they do DNA on it to identify who that finger belonged to.
Guess what?
Guess what?
If it's got 2 X chromosomes, they're going to check female. And if it's XY chromosomes, they're going to check male. But maybe you just have 1 X. They're going to call you Turner syndrome. But the fact of the matter is, gender and sex are biological. Race is most definitely biological. If you think race is not biological, try getting a bone marrow transplant from someone who's not of your race and see what happens.
Pretty tough.
It's not going to go well for you.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to join Pop for Support Our Sundays, consider making a donation on Locals, Patreon, or Subscribe Star.